Hi guys, here's another video. I've got this Mini which I serviced last week and then noticed that the rocker cover was leaking. So I'm going to have a look at the rocker cover gasket was leaking, sorry. So I'm going to have a look at replacing that today. And here you can see me just removing the cover for these spark plugs. Just two torque screws. Get this cap out of the way and put those two screws to one side. That's the cover there. And you can see these spark plugs, a bit of smoke coming out of the oil filler. Like I said, I serviced this last week, and just get these spark plugs out of the way. Just undo them. And this number one spark was full of oil. Obviously cleaned it up last week, but to show inside here, you can just about see there's still a bit of oil inside it, right at the bottom, around the spark plug. So it's still leaking, obviously. And let me just pop this one of the other spark plugs out and show you. Okay, let me just pop this one out and show you what it's supposed to look like. Let's put more out actually. Just pull the coil packs out, put them to one side. Not the spark plugs, sorry. The spark plugs are in there, down the bottom. As you can see, it's nice and clean inside there, and there, nice and clean, and that one. And if you look at this one, you can see black around the spark plug because the rocker head gasket has failed and it's leaking oil into the recess for the spark plug. So I'm going to have a look at resolving that today. So first thing I'm going to do is remove this. I've removed the cover for the spark plugs and the spark plug coil packs. Now just going to remove the air filter housing. This section here holds the air filter, which I also replaced last week doing a service. Just get this. It's just 8 torque screws on this, and there you can see the brand new air filter, which I fitted last week, and I'll just take that out and put it to one side, like so. Okay, now it's just a case of removing this breather pipe off the right hand side, left hand side, sorry. It's just a engine breather pipe. Get that out of the way. And then there's 2 sensors on the top here. Just unclip those, like so. And then next, let's use the bot there. I'm just going to remove the bolts all around. I think there's about 12 bolts or so going around the outside for the rocker cover. Let me just show you one of them there. So I'll just remove the rest of them lively, because it did take quite a while. I'm just trying to make this video as short as I can. So all I'm doing is removing all the bolts from around the side, which hold the rocker head down. And then once that's done, there's 2 bolts in the middle here, in between spark plugs 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. There's 2 bolts. I'm just removing the last one here of the rocker cover head bolts. Let's see if we can pull it out with this pair of pliers. Pull the bolts out. Okay, so I managed to retrieve the bolts. Now it's just a case of there's some clips which clip on to hold the wire down, the wiring loom down the back here, and it goes all the way around the side. I'm just undoing the clips. There's some clips with some what do you call the damn things, cable ties. I'm just removing them, just lifting them up. And then there's a bracket on the side here, just pull that up to get it out of the way for the wiring loom also. and I'm pretty happy with that. Got all the cables out of the way, so it's just a case of lifting the rocker cover off now that I've removed all the bolts. As you can see there, just stuck on the wires on the side there, and that's the rocker cover removed. Just show you the underside of it there. Okay, put that to one side. I've pulled these sleeves out as well for the spark plugs. I'll just pull them out. You can see the other three are stuck in there. I'll give them a clean also. Just put them up top here. And then it's just a case of removing the gasket. The remnants of the gaskets are stuck to the cylinder head here. You can see me just removing it. It tucks into the recess of the rocker cover, which I'll show you in a bit. And then you got these rings, which are seal rings, which go around the spark plug housing. See there? It's the one on number 1 piston that failed and made the oil leak inside the spark plug housing, which caused the engine light to come on because it was misfiring, because it was full of oil. Okay, this is the rocker cover head, which I removed, and you can see a couple of the gaskets are still stuck on. The ring gaskets, I'm just removing them, and as you see when they hit the bench, they're rock hard, whereas originally they were soft rubber, and the new ones are soft rubber. And there's 2 rings also, smaller rings that fit in the top here, in between spark plugs 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get those gaskets out. So what I'm going to do is just give the cylinder head, the rocker head cover a clean. Just get rid of some of the oil that's on there. Not much. You won't get it completely spotless. So I'm just going to give it a blast. And I've put some degreaser on it and some fairy liquid just to give it a bit of a clean. Going back to the engine, let me just show you here. This section here, this hole here was full of oil last week, and I've noticed this cam here, it seems a bit dry on the end, and the rest of the cams look okay. And this, you can see inside the hole there where the spark plug is. Here I'm just going to crank the engine over just to see how the oil circulates. See, it sprays up the top there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is where the gasket fits, the rocker cover gasket fits, I'm just going to clean around the edge, get it nice and clean for the new gasket. So I'm just using some thinners, and I'm just going to wipe along this edge here and get it nice and spotless. And here it is. You see I've got it nice and clean here. You can see all around the edge where the gasket sits, it's nice and clean. Took a while, but I've got it done. And let me just show you here these recesses. There's 4 rings, one for here for the spark plugs housing, one there. Just highlight that for you, one there and one there. Just got to get these areas clean, and also these areas here and here. Just got to get these nice and clean for the new gaskets. Okay, so what I'm going to do, here's the new gasket in the bag, and here's the head the next day, nice and dry. I left it overnight, and it's nice and dry now. Like I said, you won't get this inside of this section completely clean because it's constantly being flashed with oil. So what it is, the gasket fits in this groove that goes all the way around, and I'll show you that in a second. See this groove around here? That's where the gasket fits into, and then you got the rings which fit into these recesses here. So let me just pop the main gasket out the bag, just so I can show you. And you got the smaller gaskets, ring gaskets, inside the bag there. So this little keyway here fits onto here as a guide, and the little lip faces upwards. Let me just show you. So here you can see me just fitting the gasket, the rocker head gasket, into the its recess. As you can see there, see the keyway goes in there first. This is a guide, and the rest of the gasket should just tuck in to the recess all the way around, and it should stay in there as well. You shouldn't need any gasket seal. And there's a little notch here. The gasket just presses in. Don't know if it's another keyway. So as you can see me here, just pressing the gasket into its recess. And it's got a couple of tabs on the gasket to help it to stay in place. Obviously, because when you turn it over, you don't want the gasket falling out. I have used sealant on this in the past, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm just going to use a bit of oil. And here you can see me just carry on fitting the gasket into its recess and just tucking it in. Just tucking it in all the way around, and you can see it fits in there nicely. And that's the little keyway tab I showed you earlier. As you can see, the gasket fits on nice all the way around. Let's give you a side angle. You see it's just slightly sticks out. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So it's just a matter of fitting these rings, these two rings here. Just fit inside there, and they'll, like I said, they got a little tab sticking out of them so they keep in place, and they're nice and soft. Whereas when they're worn in, they go rock hard for some reason or another. And this is the rings for the spark plug ports. This is the one that failed and caused oil to leak into the spark plug housing. And they're nice and soft. Like I said, the ones I removed were rock hard. Probably the originals. And you can see me just making sure I've seated the rings. You can see there. Just pop that last one in, and like I said, they'll stay in place. When you turn the rock cover up, they won't fall out. Let me just show you what they look like from the side. They do stand proud. Let me just tip this, make sure these are fully inserted, the top ones as well, and just show you a side angle. You see there, it stands proud. The gasket, a little bit sticking up there. I'll just tuck that in. Just press that down like so. So that gasket's in and ready to be fitted to the car. But before I do that, I'm just going to put a bit of oil around the recess of this gasket. I used sealant last time, but a YouTuber suggested I'll use this method. So I'll just put a bit of oil around the recess. Let me just fast forward this section for you because it was quite a while. So I'm just using a bit of engine oil instead of sealant. Okay, so I think that's done, and that's ready to be fitted to the engine now on the cover. Okay, we'll go back to the car. I'm just going to remove the spark plugs, and like I said, the one housing was got a bit of oil in it, so I'm just going to take them all out and give the spark plug housings a clean. To show you here, that's number 1, and 2, 3 and 4. So all I'm going to do is just get a screwdriver and some wet wipes and just see if I can use that just to clean the inside area. And let me show you how it looks like now. As you can see, there's no more oil down there. See, they're nice and clean now. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is just put the spark plugs back in at this stage. You can see me just tighten them back up. And then all I've got to do now is introduce the head, the rocker cover, sorry, with the gaskets, to show you close up so the gaskets are still in situ. So it's just a case of refitting it, and like I said, the gaskets won't fall out because they stick in by the little tabs. Just got to make sure I've not trapped any wires here as I'm fitting the gasket. There's a loom that goes around the side. Just going to make sure none of those wires get trapped under the gasket, because that would cause a problem. And I'm pretty happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is just put all the bolts back in, but I'm going to speed this section up because it is quite a long time, just to make the video shorter. So you can see me just fit the bolts. Also, just tighten them up. And then just tighten the last one up there. And here you can see me just putting the breather pipe back on. And what I'm going to do now is tuck these wires back in. There's little clips that go around the back. I'm just tucking them back in. I removed them before to remove the rocker cover, and they just clip onto a little tab on the side to speed this section up also, because the clips go all the way around here. And here you can see me just putting the final clip on. Okay, so I'm just going to pop these sleeves back in, what I removed before, for the spark plug housing. They're stamped BMW. I think they're probably the only part that's stamped BMW actually. So I'm just tucking them into their recess here, as you can see. And I'm just going to pop the spark plugs back in. Sorry, the coil packs, not the spark plugs, the coil packs, which make the spark. I'm just popping them back in here, and they just clip in, all four. That's all four coil packs in. So okay, so now it's just a case of popping this air filter back in, and popping the air filter cover back over, and tightening up the Allen keys. And there's just a one nut in the middle there. Just give you a close up what it looks like thus far. And I'm happy with that. So I'm just putting the last cover back over now for the spark plugs. And then it's just two Torx screws which hold them in place. And then just got to put the fuel cap on, the oil cap, sorry. And let me just show you here. It's fully completed now. Got the engine running. Sounds okay. With that, thanks for watching once again, and please subscribe.